In the year of our Lord 2024, we're getting a new Indiana Jones game. For a lot of people, the immediate question would be why? Back in the day, especially in the mid-80s when Indiana Jones was at its peak, a game would have made sense to come out alongside a new movie as a marketing gimmick to grab the attention of kids and ultimately the wallets of parents when they stop by the store on the way home from the theater. Today, that's not the case. We've had two new indie movies in the last 20 years, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull in 2008 and The Dial of Destiny in 2023, and both of them were alright. Neither really recaptured that same magic that the original Indiana Jones movies delivered on in the 80s. Sure, the newer movies aren't as critically acclaimed as Raiders of the Lost Ark or The Temple of Doom, but we're also talking about an entirely different audience of people with different expectations. Movies have come a long way in the last 40 years, constantly upping the expectation of what people want from their films. And people who grew up in the 2000s didn't have that love and appreciation for Indiana Jones in the same way their parents did. On the flip side of Lucasfilm, for Star Wars, the prequel movies and plenty of animated series kept the love and interest alive until The Force Awakens dropped in 2015 and brought a new saga for a new generation of fans, whether you like them or not. Indiana Jones didn't have that same luxury. There was a 19-year gap between The Last Crusade and Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. That's an entire generation that missed out on how cool Indiana Jones can be and left the IP pretty irrelevant for more and more people year after year. Now here we are in 2024 with Machine Games' Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, an entirely new adventure from the mind of Todd Howard starring Indiana Jones voiced by Troy Baker. This game is hitting all the tropes that old school fans of Indiana Jones have come to expect. It's set in 1937 between Raiders of the Lost Ark and Temple of Doom, right in that golden age of Indiana Jones. They say sinister forces are scouring the globe, but the secret to an ancient power connected to the Great Circle, and only one person can stop them: Indiana Jones. Coming from the team behind Wolfenstein, it's no shocker that Indiana Jones is going to be fist-fighting some Nazi-esque characters and swinging around on his whip. What was a bit more of a surprise for some is that this game isn't copying the third-person precedent that Uncharted and Tomb Raider have set over the last 15 or 20 years, with Uncharted itself being heavily inspired by the adventure and tone of Indiana Jones. The team did make it clear that some third-person elements are going to get sprinkled in there. Cutscenes and traversal are going to show off Indy in his full glory, hat and whip included, so they aren't getting too far away from the star of the show, because that's a big part of anything Indiana Jones. The beauty of this approach is that it lets Machine Games make the game that they want to make, instead of Xbox forcing the team to make the game that fans were expecting. A typical PlayStation-style third-person action-adventure game would have worked, but no matter how good it looked and played, it would have always been compared directly to the Uncharted games that have dialed in on a refined look, tone, and feel over 16 years and 4 mainline games. Not only is Machine Games creating the type of game that they know how to make and make well, they're also making something that's going to stand on its own and prove how good or bad it is based on nothing other than the final game itself. But still, is Indiana Jones relevant enough to pull in players and sell copies in 2024? Can Indiana Jones of all things be the game that Xbox can stand behind as a definitive must-have exclusive? A lot of people, including me, went into this reveal with the mindset that Indiana Jones is what's selling this game, and that's some shaky ground to stand on based on the last 20 years. But the reality is that Machine Games is making a cinematic, globe-trotting, first-person action-adventure game that just so happens to star one of Lucasfilm's most well-known characters. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle isn't depending on nostalgia to succeed, but having the star of the show be one of the most iconic adventurers of all time is some nice icing on the cake. In other words, the success of this game doesn't depend on Indiana Jones, it depends on this being a good game. If Machine Games can stick this landing, Xbox could potentially have a new mainline first-party series on their hands. But beyond that, this could be the start of a new era for Indiana Jones. In the same way the prequels reignited the love of Star Wars for millions of fans after a big hiatus, this game could be the start of a new beginning for Indiana. But as always, I would love to know your thoughts down below. Is Indiana Jones going to be a game changer for Xbox? What do you think about this gameplay so far, and are you going to dive in on day one? And if you're new to the channel and you enjoy what you see or what you hear, hit that subscribe button on YouTube and get videos like this every week and gaming news shorts throughout the week to keep you in the loop. But I'll catch you on the next one.